I didn't hear in your testimony the alternative sites you've advocated for. Could you remind me of which those are?
Well, in the conversation, as we know,
I'm sorry, I only have 18 seconds. Which are the sites that you propose as an alternative?
I don't have a proposal.
So you don't have a proposal alternative? No proposed alternative. No solutions here. No ideas here. But Democrats, we're authorizing 500,000 work permits so people can get on their feet and support themselves. Democrats, we're proposing comprehensive immigration reform. Democrats, we're talking about saying, let's reassess our foreign policies so that people aren't fleeing, making sure that we aren't participating in the destabilization of what's happening abroad.
That was New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, absolutely roasting an unprepared congressional witness over her lack of any plan to manage the migrant crisis. It's one more clear reminder that for all their big talk, Republicans don't actually have a single idea on how to fix the problem.
And all I'm hearing right now is that we're not being met in the middle. No support, no path to citizenship, no identified alternatives, just grievances. We need to get it together and make sure that we're getting on the right page. And if the ideas being presented here in this committee are being disagreed with, I'd like to see some actual functional alternatives that center and preserve the dignity of both people who are coming here to fulfill an American dream and the American citizens here who want to support them. And with that, I yield back to the chair. Thank you.
The GOP spent years screaming about how they'd solve America's immigration problems the minute voters gave them control of the House. And now we find that not only do they have no ideas, they aren't really even interested in funding solutions that already exist. In fact, Republicans don't even want to work with anyone to address America's need for immigration reform, including, it seems, each other. The best anyone on the right can come up with is trotting out tired old tropes about how immigration leads to anarchy.
The president, the vice president, they set the policy and they're executing it, and they're hand in glove with the drug cartels. It's that simple.
It was just eye-popping to see the news being made late yesterday that they are now going to offer up 472,000 Venezuelans to get work permits, work authorization. That's exactly what Representative from New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was shouted down about on the streets of New York when protesters showed up, pro-America, against illegal immigration.
Okay, honestly, what is Harris Faulkner even talking about? Because the federal government processing work permits for asylum seekers seems like the opposite of anarchy. Not only is the government functioning as normal, it also achieves the goal of getting these migrants off city streets and into paying work so they can support themselves, which is exactly what Republicans wanted. You'd think Republicans would like all that bootstrapping and personal responsibility. Not Harris, who thinks the simple act of enforcing our current immigration laws is basically the same thing as destroying the United States.
Venezuela, by the way, is a failed economic state. They're a failed country. They gave away their country in socialist moves. People are calling this anarchy.
And look,
what do you say about it? Is it anarchy, what we're going through right now?
Oh, it is anarchy. We're doing this now by the tens of thousands, people coming into this country illegally. We don't know who these people are. We don't know their background. You can come legally and lawfully into this country, but you got to go through a port of entry. We give out more than 1 million people every year come in legally and lawfully.
Okay, again, these people are not here illegally. That's why they have asylum processing forms they received from American immigration agents. They stood in line, filed an asylum claim, and then entered the country legally while their case was processed. That's completely different from illegal immigration. I'm starting to think these Republicans don't actually understand the laws they spent most of their careers blindly voting to reauthorize, because this is the way we've done it since Republicans passed the Refugee Act all the way back in 1980. Not one thing has changed about how we process asylum seekers. Republicans have been pretty clear they don't want migrants filling up city streets, even though it's Republicans who were busing migrants into major cities. But now they've decided they don't want these migrants anywhere, including in America's national parks.
Our country's national parks are some of the greatest treasures. To allow illegal immigrants to set up camp in these parks and hamper everyday Americans' rights to visit and enjoy these parks is just another example of Biden and his cabinet putting their leftist agenda above the need of Americans.
Again, not illegal, and again, National parks are public places. Migrants can camp there if they want, the same as any person who enters a national park. But if Republicans have a better proposal on where to put the people who are already in our country, Democrats are all ears. Make no mistake, cities across the country are absolutely struggling with the influx of refugees bussed in from Republican border states. No one is denying the reality of that crisis. What we need are real policy proposals and the political will to pass them. Republicans have neither, and they refuse to even hear any alternatives. That's not just a failure of government, it's a failure of our country's broadest ideals. Republicans failed to rise to the challenge of immigration reform, and it's time American voters toss them out and replace them with leaders willing to tackle our biggest problems. That's how we solve America's immigration process, not by whining on Fox News. And if you think that was a lot, check out this video.
So much food and water stored down there to feed the whole United States for about 10 years.
And as always, leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.